the drone attacks that have taken place in Manipur. Militants have now fired rockets at 2 locations, including the residence of Manipur's first chief minister, which resulted in the death of 1 individual and injured around other 5. The assault is what marks the first documented use of rockets since the violence had erupted in the region 17 months ago, and comes after drones were first weaponized in the ongoing strife. Among the injured were 5 relatives of the former chief minister, which also included a 13-year-old girl. The surge in the violence prompted the Manipur administration to order the closure of all the educational institutions as a precautionary measure. The ongoing ethnic clashes between the Kuki and the Meitei communities, which began on May 3rd, have intensified, with militants increasingly resorting to sophisticated weaponry. Joining me on the broadcast is my colleague Nibir. Nibir, what exactly has transpired by the investigation that has been supported by the police and other forces on the ground in Manipur as a cause of this drone attack, and what exactly has been the situation after the attack has taken place on the residence of the first chief minister of Manipur?
Well, 2 significant attacks have been observed in Manipur in the last 3 days. Firstly, the drone attack, which was a high-level attack because that kind of aerial warfare was not seen in the state ever since the clashes broke out last year from May onwards. And the second attack that we saw yesterday was the launch of rockets in 2 locations that led to the death of a senior citizen, and 6 other civilians were injured in these rocket attacks. So these 2 incidents have showed you the severity of what the crisis is ongoing in Manipur, wherein high-level artillery and weapons have been used, and the next level of threat now is an aerial threat, because this is an area which is a very complex geographical area with the hills and the valleys merging in complex geographical terrains. And as such, the challenge for the security forces have intensified. We are seeing security forces doing advanced combing operations, and also the aerial artillery has been used by the security forces to monitor any sort of movement of attacks done aerially. However, the challenges remain high for the security forces because of the complex geographical terrain and as well as the nature of arrests that we have been seeing in the state in the last 2-3 days.
As far as the significant and the crucial time for Manipur, and as far as the crisis between the 2 communities is concerned. Now, also moving on, I have a guest joining me on the broadcast. Major Muhammad Ali Shah, who is a defense expert, joins me on the broadcast at this point of time. Very good morning to you, sir. We appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. What exactly, in your opinion, has been the latest understanding of, these attacks which struck the house of Manipur's first chief minister? And significantly, to look at this, to put in context, this is just 100 meters away from the Indian National Army Museum, which in fact raises serious concerns over the security and the safety of the citizens there. In fact, when we talk about these people of privileged communities not being safeguarded, what can we think about the others who are not armed?
You said it bang on. You are absolutely right. When the safety and security of privileged people in Manipur is not being safeguarded at all, what can we expect of the common man? And a lot of them are living in relief camps from both sides, from the Meiteis and the Kukis, both sides, and they are suffering. And it pains me no end. Now, the incident of Bishnupur, in fact, for that matter, it is the first chief minister's house was attacked by rockets. I mean, it is indeed alarming and painful. The very fact is, they say a nick in time saves 9. If we don't make all efforts, leave no stone unturned right now at this point of time as we speak, I'm afraid to speak the truth that it will go beyond control. And that's exactly what's happening. 3rd May, I remember speaking about it on 4th May last year. 4th May, I was one of the first people from the country, in fact, who spoke about Manipur, and a lot of people were shying away from speaking about Manipur for, I don't know, for whatever reason. The very fact is, isn't Manipur our own country? Aren't they our own countrymen? be it Meiteis, Cookies, even Nagas for that matter, though thankfully Nagas have kept out of it and I hope they remain out of it. But the very fact is, our own people have been suffering, and I'm amazed by the concern showed towards a state which has contributed a great deal in the nation building. I'm wearing the Assam Rifles tie, by the way. This is the Assam Rifles commendation card, which was just awarded to me about a month ago by the former DG who was retiring, General Pradeep Nair. So, because they know how I have always felt for the northeast part of India, I am really, I feel pain, no end when I see people not concerned about Manipur. The other day, someone told me it's in Chhattisgarh. I was like, what are you talking about here? What are you talking about? So people don't know also the basics, the geography, demography, topography, history. That's a very, very different thing. But they don't know the basics of the Northeast because they neglect. And it's a fact that we have neglected the most beautiful part of the country for a very, very long time, irrespective of the political party. I'm not talking about the BJP or the Congress or whatever party. No. We as individuals have not paid the kind of attention Manipur deserves. People are suffering over there. We are more concerned about talking about geopolitics, about other countries, about Israel, Iran, Russia, Ukraine. What about our own home? I mean, it is indeed painful and it's escalating. We heard the reporters saying that, improvised artillery is being used. Aerial strikes are a great threat. Drones were the biggest news a couple of days back. The drones are being used. I don't know what is being used on ground, what is not being used. But the very fact is there is news of it. There is information warfare going on from both sides. It needs to be curbed. It needs to be curtailed as soon as possible. There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Amrik Singh Pawa, who, if you ask me, in my view, I would say he deserves a Padma Shri. In fact, the kind of contribution he has done for Manipur, I don't know very many people who would have done that kind of contribution. There are people from both sides. They're from Kuki side as well and from Meitei side as well. They're neutral parties as well. In fact, peacemakers are the need of the hour. I am in talks with both the sides, with the Meiteis and with the Kukis. Both are my friends and I love them equally. I am not partial towards anyone. I just speak the truth. I stand for the truth always. So the very fact is people who can communicate with both the sides, the government should approach them. I wonder why a gentleman like Amrit Singh Pawa, there are various other people. They are journalists, they are former army officers who have served in that area, who are passionate about that area. There is Brigadier Gautam Ganguly, there is Lieutenant General Z.U. Shah. He is right now the pro-chancellor of the university in the northeast only. That's a different thing. But there is General Pradeep Nair, who has just retired as the Director General of the Assam Rifles. There is General Shaukin Chauhan. There is General Sangwan. They are former chief secretaries. Mr. Sharma stays in our neighborhood. He's been former chief secretary. They have been former governors.
Major Mohammed, but also I like to make a point here that today's rocket struck. It has struck at a very significant location. The INA Museum, in fact, has been the point where in the year 1944, on April 14th, there was the first time the Indian flag was unfurled. And also, when the first Chief Minister of Manipur, who has been actually the victim of this attack, was a freedom fighter indeed. Do you, in your opinion, think that, after all this, what have been witnessing in the valley, the people of Imphal now are going to intensify the protest to impose the military there against the Kuki insurgents? Because at this point of time, it only seems to get worse for the people who are in the perspective to add more peace and to get measures for peace building, as you also rightly said.
Very well brought out by you, and I commend you for bringing this out, and I commend your channel, for doing such great work and doing human service, at least for Manipur. I am very, very, and for everyone in fact for that matter. So when you have brought it out so correctly, yes, I strongly urge the government, the central government, to bring up a peace committee, at least trying. At least we can try, we can make an attempt. And I definitely volunteer my services. In fact, if you go through YouTube, you will find me speaking with a lot of love and affection for the northeast part of India. There are various other people there. So I was saying last year, a panel of 51 members was set up as a peace committee to bring about peace negotiations. They were politicians, they were whatnot. Keep politicians out of it. No abridge to them, nothing against them, but just keep them out of it. Get people who are passionate about that place, who either who are not Maite, who are not cookies. They can be one rep of both the communities, I agree. But we cannot have, let's not have a panel of only cookies and Maites coming together. Let's have neutral people, people who do not belong to Manipur, in fact, who understand Manipur, who are passionate, who genuinely feel, who genuinely from the bottom of the heart want peace to prevail in Manipur. Let's get them together. Send them to Manipur. Let the government make such steps. It's a suggestion that I'm making through you and through your channel. I mean, the government is doing, they are trying, they want it. They want peace in Manipur, but obviously somewhere something is lacking. Obviously the efforts that the government is making is not enough. Obviously you can always try this hand. They can make a team, a committee, and because dialogue is the only way forward. When we get the two communities to talk together, only then they can come to a logical conclusion and they can come to talks with it. It pains me no end when I see videos surfacing from Manipur or from both sides of different. It's indeed painful, dreadful. I get calls in the middle of the night. I get calls through the night in the morning. Sir, this is happening in Manipur. What do we do? I mean, I feel helpless. I am in no position of power. I have no authority to say to do anything. What can I do? At the best, I can call you. I can message you guys. I can tell you this is what's happening. Let's please really report it. At least some pressure would be exerted. So it is. We saw the interview of the former governor of Manipur, Anasuya. It was released, I think, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So these are people. There's Brigadier Neil John, who was the deputy GOC of the division in Limakong. When the violence broke out, he was the officiating GOC. I've had the honor of interviewing him a couple of times. He mentioned the entire episode, what had happened, what had occurred, how it happened. Let us not take a decision, जोश में, out of passion. कि भाई ये दिखाना है, ये करना है, so we'll do that. No.
So, in your opinion, whose interest basically should be safeguarded at the priority? Because you yourself have been very closely associated with the works and the issues of Manipur and in the valley especially. When we talk about such complex and such sensitive matters pertaining in the valley, and at the time when, the issue has now struck the chord of the privileged and the electoral people. There are politicians, the first Chief Minister of Manipur and who has been a freedom fighter himself. The INA Museum has been dedicated to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. What is the priority at this point?
You are bang on there. The priority at this point of time should be somehow, it's very, very difficult because a lot of hate unfortunately has spread and the venom is spreading day by day. And if we do not curb it now, I am telling you, it is going to be extremely out of control for anyone and everyone. And the only thing we will fall back on is, foreign powers are doing it. And if that is the case, fine, okay, fine, let's curb it. The idea is, whoever is doing it, whether it's domestic or it's foreign or whatever, we got to curb it. We have to ensure that no more bloodshed in Manipur is drawn. There is no more bloodshed, irrespective whether a person is Maite or Kuki or what. You are Indians, we are all Indians, we have to protect our own brethren, we have to protect our own countrymen. So the priority at this time should be to get both the communities on the table together. Which are they willing to do? I have my doubts. So we need sensitive, passionate people who understand them, who catches the pulse.
All right.
Who somehow convince them at least to start a dialogue. Whether it works out or not is a different thing. That's a later stage. At least start the initial process for peace that way. Otherwise, if we say, guys, don't fight, it's not school. They're not school children. That guys don't shake hands, become friends. It's not that simple. It's very, very complex. That is why it's very important. What is IB, information broadcast, the IB, not information broadcast, sorry. The IB, the people who keep information, they should actually have a data first.
All right.
Of people who are genuinely into this, who know, who understand Manipur. Yeah.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.